Welcome back to Future Link, the podcast where we dive into the innovations shaping tomorrow's world. I'm your host, Brad Smith, and today we're tunneling into the future, literally. We're summarizing a fascinating academic paper that takes a hard look at one of Elon Musk's more unconventional ventures, the Boring Company's Vegas Loop. The paper is titled Coming Around, a cost-benefit analysis of the Vegas Loop, written by Adriana Alejandra Henriquez Mora, as part of her senior honors thesis at Eastern Michigan University in 2024. We'll give full credit to Adriana throughout, as her rigorous analysis challenges some common misconceptions about the Boring Company. And since we're recording this on August 12, 2025, I'll weave in some fresh updates on the project's progress, updated numbers, and even some exciting news about a new Boring Company venture in Nashville. Let's get into it. The Vegas Loop is an underground tunnel system in Las Vegas, built by the Boring Company, using human-driven Tesla Model X and Y vehicles to shuttle passengers directly to their destinations. No stops, no traffic jams above ground. As of mid-2025, it's expanded beyond the initial setup. Now operational with 8 stations and about 3.5 miles of tunnels, mainly connecting the Las Vegas Convention Center, Resorts World, Westgate, and the newly opened Encore station in 2025. That's up from the 5 stations and 1.7 miles Adriana analyzed in her 2024 paper. Cumulative ridership has surpassed 3 million passengers, showing steady growth despite the system's youth. Though that's still far from the full-scale projections of 90,000 passengers per hour once complete. The full vision is now a sprawling network of 104 stations and 68 miles, slightly revised from the original 69 stations and 65 miles, connecting the airport, the Strip, downtown, the stadium, UNLV, and more. Adriana's paper is a forward-looking cost-benefit analysis, estimating the impacts before the full project is complete. She projects outcomes based on the early operational bits and crunches the numbers for society as a whole, including riders, the company, casinos, and residents. Adriana identifies key benefits and costs, quantifying them in monetary terms over a 10-year horizon with a 2% discount rate. On the benefits side, fares from riders, reduced travel times, lower emissions, and a boost to tourism. Costs include initial implementation, ongoing construction, and maintenance like vehicle depreciation and energy. Let's break down the benefits, as Adriana calculated them, with some 2025 context. Fares were estimated at about $273 million annually, based on projected ridership of around 40 million passengers a year, similar to Vegas's public transit numbers at the time, multiplied by an average fare of $1.76 per mile and trip lengths of about 3.9 miles. Today, with over 3 million passengers already moved cumulatively since opening in 2021, we're seeing real traction, especially during conventions where daily peaks hit over 32,000. As expansions like the Encore connector come online, ridership is climbing, validating Adriana's optimistic projections for the full system. Reduced travel times are a big one. Adriana compares loop speeds to buses. The loop zips along at about 1 minute per mile versus buses at over 12 minutes. That saves nearly 30 million hours annually for riders at full scale. Valuing that time at around $16.69 per hour, it adds up to about $493 million in yearly benefits. In practice, current trips like from the Convention Center to Encore take just 55 seconds, slashing what could be a 15-minute surface drive in rush hour. This real-world efficiency underscores how the loop is already delivering on time savings, even if top speeds are capped at 40 miles per hour for now, with plans to hit 150 miles per hour eventually. Emissions reductions come from using electric Teslas instead of gas cars or buses. Adriana figures each Tesla avoids 3.45 tons of CO2 per year, and with a fleet scaling toward nearly 1,000 vehicles for the full loop, that's over 3,300 tons avoided annually. At a social cost of about $1,139 per ton, that's roughly $3.75 million in benefits. With the system now operational and expanding, these environmental gains are materializing, especially as Vegas pushes for greener tourism. And tourism? Vegas lives on it. Nearly 30% of jobs tie back to hotels and casinos. Adriana assumes saved travel time lets tourists spend more, at about $13.25 per hour based on average daily spending of $318. That translates to $391 million annually, assuming those hours go toward shopping, gambling, or shows. With conventions drawing over 100,000 attendees and the Loop seamlessly linking them, this boost is proving spot on, helping Vegas recover and grow post-pandemic. Now, the costs. The initial build for the core LVC segment was $47 million, slightly less than the $48.7 million Adriana cited, funded by the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. Scaling up, Adriana estimates remaining construction at about $1.3 billion, weighted between tunnels and stations. But real-world updates show the Boring Company funding expansions privately, with resorts like Encore and Westgate covering their stations. Maintenance comes to around $259 million per year in her model, covering Tesla depreciation, about $5.4 million, and energy costs, $254 million, based on efficiency and miles driven. As the fleet grows, these costs are in play, but offset by rising fares and efficiencies. Crunching it all, Adriana finds a net present value of over $6.7 billion in positive benefits after 10 years, and a benefit-to-cost ratio of nearly 3:1. In her simulations, 99.9% show positive results. She recommends proceeding with the project, noting that after the one-time construction costs, benefits skyrocket. A year later, with expansions underway, like tunneling to Park MGM and UNLV, this looks even more prescient. Progress hasn't been lightning fast, but it's steady, and the system's earned a near-perfect 99.5% safety rating from DHS-TSA, countering past fines and concerns. But here's where Adriana's work really shines, addressing the general misunderstandings about the Boring Company. You know the narrative. Elon Musk starts a company called The Boring Company, as a joke on Twitter, promising to solve traffic with tunnels, but critics call it a gimmick. People say it's too slow, not scalable, a waste of money, or just a glorified subway for tourists that ignores residents. Construction disrupts traffic, progress is glacial, only a few miles after years, and it's financed oddly, with casinos footing station bills while promising no taxpayer funds beyond the initial outlay. Recent headlines like Bloomberg dubbing it a $900 million flop for limited digging fuel that fire. But let's unpack this. The Vegas Loop isn't a flop, it's operational, growing, and has moved millions without major incidents. Sure, it's tourist-heavy, aligning with Vegas's economy, but that's a strength, not a flaw. And scalability? Tunnels are built incrementally to minimize disruption, and costs per mile are dropping thanks to improved boring machines like Proofrock. Adriana's analysis flips that script. She shows it's not boring at all, it's efficient and cost-effective. The positive net present value counters the wasteful label, reduced emissions and times address environmental and practical concerns, and the tourism boost underscores its fit for Vegas's economy. Sure, it's tourist-focused, but that aligns with the city's needs, and expansions could benefit residents too. And while self-driving cars aren't there yet, the vehicles are still human-driven, the framework allows for future upgrades like autonomy and higher speeds. Adriana acknowledges limitations, like relying on assumptions in the project's early stage, but her data-driven approach suggests cities like LA or Chicago might revisit scrap boring proposals. The title Coming Around says it all. Maybe it's time we do too. Speaking of coming around, let's talk fresh news that's got everyone buzzing. The Boring Company's expansion to Nashville. Just last month, on July 28, 2025, Tennessee Governor Bill Lee announced the Music City Loop, a 10-mile underground tunnel connecting downtown Nashville and the Music City Center to Nashville International Airport. Like Vegas, it'll use Tesla vehicles for zero-emission rides, slashing the trip to about 8-9 minutes. It's privately funded, no taxpayer dollars, with site prep starting this quarter, tunneling in Q4 2025, and the first segment operational by early 2027. This marks Boring's second major public project selected for Nashville's boomtown growth and traffic woes. But it's not without controversy. Local officials like Mayor Freddie O'Connell and reps like Justin Jones raised eyebrows over the fast track, lack of public input, geological challenges, Nashville's limestone and flooding risks, and whether it prioritizes tourists over locals. Still, supporters highlight job creation, congestion relief, and complimenting Nashville's recent transit upgrades. If successful, it could validate Adriana's Vegas findings on a new stage, showing tunnels as a viable, innovative fix for urban mobility. Will Nashville's rocky ground slow things down, or will Boring's tech prevail? Time will tell, but it's a clear sign the company is gaining momentum, flipping skeptics one city at a time. Huge credit to Adriana Alejandra Henriquez Mora for this insightful thesis. Check it out on Eastern Michigan University's Digital Commons. If you're in Vegas, hop on the loop and see for yourself. If you're in Nashville, keep an eye on those construction sites. What do you think, game changer or tunnel vision? Drop your thoughts in the comments or on social.